Guys, welcome to 2 Degrees of Separation, the variety topic podcast starring Adam and Josh. Today we're talking about Star Wars The Last Jedi. This is a topic that I've been very anxious to get to, but it's taken Josh 8 years to watch the movie.
Was we talking about The Empire Strikes Back? I watched that yesterday.
Oh, God. I wouldn't be surprised. At this point, I wouldn't even be surprised if you watched the wrong movie. If we were talking about, like...
I'm well versed in Star Wars. Have you seen my shirt?
Oh, yeah. He's pointing to his USS Enterprise shirt.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a Trekkie.
Obi-Wan Picard.
Obi-Wan Picard.
Shut up, Wesley! Oh, wait, I can't.
Beam me up, Yoda.
Okay.
Putting crickets there.
Let's just cut this.
Let's just cut this whole thing. All right. Anyway, we're talking about Last Jedi, Episode 8. If you haven't seen it, and for whatever reason you're listening to this, I would watch the movie first because we're gonna spoil it, obviously.
I think that one subscriber we have has probably seen the movie. So
Yeah, exactly. My wife.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I've seen it. All right. So first of all, actually, so he watched it just yesterday. I haven't had a chance to talk to him about it yet. So just what's your overall? Did you like it or not like it?
Well, what are we talking about here in this episode? Is it just if we liked it or not?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I should probably So we're gonna get into why it's so divisive. It's like it's probably the most divisive movie of the entire franchise.
Divisive.
And divisive. You say divisive, I say divisive.
Tomato, potato.
Exactly. And the future of Star Wars. What's happening with Star Wars right now? Is Star Wars in trouble? I think so, but we'll get into that in a bit. But first of all, so what's your opinion on it?
Well, full disclosure, after I saw Leia floating through space, I started editing another one of our videos, and then kind of tuned out. So last I saw, there was a fight. I think Kylo killed Luke. He did the Han thing to him. He stuck the lightsaber in Han, the last I saw. Because I had it on mute because I was editing. So wait. Kylo killed Luke, did he not? That was Luke's thing for the fight at the end?
Oh, no. Okay.
He was standing there with the saber in him, like with Han.
But but Luke wasn't really there. He was a Force ghost.
He's not dead, though.
Well, he died.
Kylo killed him.
No, but he wasn't really, like, he put it through him. He was just a hologram. He was projecting himself there.
I know.
So you didn't actually watch it. Wait.
Yes, of course I did. Because then after, I thought first of all, when he got like blown to hell by those lasers, I figured he was just using like a force shield in some way.
Okay.
And then after you see like, okay, this makes sense. So he is just a hologram. And that's why he pretty much just avoided Kylo in fighting, right? He didn't want to touch him. When Kylo swings at a saber, goes Neo.
Yeah.
And it's like he doesn't want to give it away yet.
Which was cool.
Okay, but sorry, the Leia thing did piss me off. Now, I had to, a lot of people don't know what happens to your body in space. I was mad about that because I thought she was dead or should be dead.
You could see her starting to freeze over.
Right. Now, I was going to say, though, I had to double check on this, but it doesn't take as quick as you would think it would in space. Now, it depends where you're in space. Obviously, there's a lot of radiation you can get in space. Some spots are just too hot where you do burn up fast. Other spots cold where you will freeze up faster. Yeah. Your body will expand. Like the air, I believe, just in your body, especially blood vessels can expand. Your lungs can rupture if you take a deep breath or something like that. But you could survive potentially for X number of seconds or a minute in space if your helmet came off your suit and you're floating around. You know what I mean? You can actually go back into a shuttle maybe 30 seconds later and be okay. You could have some real badass sunburns. You may have some health issues from, again, the radiation or whatnot, but affecting you on a genetic level.
We're getting real deep into this.
But no, I just thought when I saw her start floating back there after there was an explosion, in the hull or the brig where she was, and she came out unscathed, aside from being cold.
She was you could see. Well, okay, so I think the reasoning behind that is the Force was protecting her.
I'm sure that's what it was. I was okay, it's Leia, so that makes sense, blah blah blah. But okay, just skipping past that, going to the real.
But the first time I saw that though, I didn't like it either.
Well, no, that was actually me saying, "What the fuck?" when I saw that. Yeah. But anyway.
Okay, just your general
Yeah, sure, exactly. Just go back to the main thing. I don't know if I was giving it just an overall review without going in depth, which we will. I want to say like 6.5 out of 10 overall.
Okay.
I think that'd be as high as I would go for it.
Yeah.
If we are, using that rating scale.
But just
2 potatoes out of 7 bears, probably.
Okay. 3 unicorns out of 5 pumpkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
three unicorns out of 5 pumpkins is my favorite Ghost of a Snowman album.
Stop it. Ghost of a Snowman is still awesome, though.
You're like, don't joke about Ghost of a Snowman.
Best, fictional post-hardcore band ever.
Yeah. But I respect that. That's
And your overall rating before we discuss would be what?
It's probably around like 5 or 6 also.
Wow.
Like,
I never usually have higher ratings than Adam. I thought mine was kind of low.
That's true. That's very true.
So if we start dissecting quickly, I just thought it was kind of slow overall. I had one glaring issue, but I just thought it was kind of slow overall. It wasn't bad storytelling. You get a lot of great stories that are just told slowly. You know what I mean? It just happens. So it was fine. It was a little slow. They introduced some new characters, and some of them I thought were pushed in a little quickly. I knew she was going to do this when I saw the girl from Jurassic Park with the purple hair.
Laura Dern,
the scientist, whatever her name was in Jurassic Park. She, I guess, has aged well to live in that world now, or she, if this is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, did she live then and then become a scientist here on Earth after?
Character?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, something must have happened to her when she light speed.
Yeah, exactly. She just went through space and time.
Yeah,
but when that happened, I thought that was a great idea. But I also thought, and cinematically, I thought it looked really nice too. But I would have thought that would have been a suggestion from the beginning.
Okay, so
let's rocket this thing light speed towards it and piece the F out. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And are you serious? Someone has to man that thing?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You're flying through goddamn space at light speed, and someone has to be there to push this control forward. Otherwise, you can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. I was gonna get into this later, but that is as amazing as that scene was. I remember seeing that in the theater, seeing it in IMAX. The entire audience gasps because it goes silent.
Yeah.
When it goes through, and it's one of the coolest things visually I've ever seen.
I thought it looked great.
And it was completely silent, and the whole audience just breathed in. And but it does open the door to so many problems.
Yeah.
Because it's so no one ever, when they were dealing, even episode 4, when they were dealing with the Death Star, no one even had the idea why don't we just sacrifice one little fucking X-Wing, light speed it into the dish, the laser dish? That's all they would have had to do.
No one thought about it.
Yeah.
And also, you watch ships in Star Wars come out of light speed a lot.
Yeah.
And they come to the halt, that's fine. We're not going to get into physics here with Star Wars.
Yeah.
One, because I haven't read up on all my stuff yet, so I don't have all my notes with me to talk about it. And two, well, it's Star Wars, so it doesn't make sense. It's fine. It's a film. It's fictional. It's great. But... So, wait, where am I going with this? Okay, so you see what happens when they went through light speed through a ship, through an object.
Yeah.
So, that has never happened in Star Wars before. They haven't hit a single goddamn thing anytime they've gone through light speed or come out of it. Because the faster you go, even the bigger or more mass your vehicle or whatever you're in will have.
Yeah.
And you could run into a pebble, and that could potentially destroy you. That thing could fly right through your ship, basically, at the speed you're going. So, it's just where... They use that as an example to destroy that thing, and then again you think, why wasn't this used however many other times?
Yeah.
Why weren't people just doing this for fun? What was Luke shooting womp rats or whatever for fun? Wouldn't he Jesus, if he was on the Millennium Falcon, if Han steps off, let's just fly this thing light speed into this moon and see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's just and again, everyone is also always unscathed whenever they come out of light speed all the time. No ships ever crash.
Yeah.
Which is going to bring me to my other problem here. I had this also with Jurassic World, which wasn't a great one. It was an action adventure, not sci-fi horror like the first one. Mm-hmm. The other two kind of sort of, but I hate when films like Star Wars here get way too coincidental, or that Deus Ex Machina or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's we wrote ourselves into a corner, so what happens? Oh, the heroes just survive. That light speed thing destroys the ships, but Finn and that girl are totally fine. They happen to be off the side.
They were 5 feet away from...
Right. They were 5 feet away
Yeah.
from the freaking like AT-AT or the chicken walk or whatever, the ATST just like on its side on flames and the stormtroopers laying around there or whatever.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Yeah.
And the amount of times like, oh, this ship showed up right when we needed to get away. You know what I mean? It was just everything was so coincidental in that movie. It started to bother me. Even the stuff with Ren and Ray or whatever sometimes got too coincidental. And I honestly think I think it's her character. Maybe that's what they're going for. But she seems, compared to any other Star Wars character, and I think it's naivety. Naivety? Jeez, I can't even speak. Sorry. And I think it's from her being naive. I'm going to cut that other part out after. But...
After you gave me such a hard time about divisive.
Yes. But I think it's because she is so naive that they just make her so confident. Like, to go against just Snopes, like, just go to Ren, right?
Yeah.
To think she can turn him. And then go to, talk to Snopes. As if she has no idea about really him at all in any real way.
Yeah.
And she's just walking right into it. Even as powerful as she is, she doesn't know how powerful she is. She doesn't know what she's capable of.
Yeah.
She probably would have died if it was just Snopes going to fight her. That's more than likely.
Oh,
but they just made her... I think she's great. I think she looks fantastic in it. I think she just looked... I don't know.
No, I really like her character. I think she's gotten too powerful too quickly.
No, I mean her.
Sense.
Like, I'm just digging her. She looks great in it.
Oh, no, well, yeah. No, she's really...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think they made her, like, I don't know, too confident right now, which is maybe she's learning from it. But yeah, those are my main issues. Too coincidental for so many things. Kind of slow storytelling. Sometimes a little bland as well. And then, those other problems we had, the little things that pop up that make you reference old films and think, why was this never done before? Or why was this only a problem now, but it wasn't in any of the other ones?
Yeah.
And I don't know, just some cheesy stuff, some action-adventure things, running around on those freaking caribou type things. I don't know. That reminded me of when I saw The Hobbit and they went with the rabbit sleigh, which was garbage. I mean, first of all, last I checked, that didn't actually happen in the book. Like, last I read...
Well, did
The Hobbits never went
happen in that book? Like
decent amount of them did.
From those 3 movies? How did they get 3 movies out of that one little book?
They kind of took the best parts, but I mean, like, without making up something, without fiction. You already have a book of fiction. No need to add something else. Like, rabbit sled garbage. Anyway, never happened.
But anyway, this isn't goddamn Hobbit talk.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Lord of the Rings and Star Wars.
We're gonna do that eventually, but yeah. But anyway, okay. We're going to go back to the beginning here, and we're going to quickly go through, I'm going to kind of the plot a little bit. I'm going to ask you about a few particular scenes. So right away it opens up, and I was so excited going into this movie, but as soon as like that opening scene, Poe's in the X-Wing in front of it, and he starts like the whole like holding for Hux, and then he does like the freaking like your mama joke basically, where he's like, I have a message for your mother or something. Like the audience around me was laughing, but I was sitting there like, oh no. This is Marvel humor, which like Marvel humor is fantastic in the Marvel movies.
Right.
Like Guardians and all these other, like Ant-Man, like really funny stuff, and Iron Man, like... But I do not want this in Star Wars.
Well, no, Star Wars, it needs humor somewhere. You have to have jokes and stuff.
And they always did have humor.
Right.
But like, not like this.
No, I agree. I thought some of the stuff was kind of cheesy, corny stuff. Like, more so kid humor that maybe kids would laugh at. I don't know.
Yeah, and
I never laughed
plugging
at
all those holes in the ship there. Like,
I didn't think that was funny. I thought that was maybe more... I'm trying to think of a good word for it. I can't really... I just thought that was a nice little filler piece for the action to try to just consistent, like, this goes and that one pops open, so he's got to go here. So then he's got all of them at the end just to get it to work. But then he uses his head. And again, that's more Disney kind of maybe gearing it at kids. Like, this will be funny to kids. They'll be like, I bet... Oh, I know. BB-8 puts his head against the whole thing. Everyone who's like 45 to 50 is going to lose their mind.
He's got like 50 things like plugging these holes, and he just slams. Like, to me, that was no better than Jar Jar getting his tongue stuck in electricity or whatever.
That was funny though. Like, I laughed at that when he's like, "The tongue." Like, I thought that was funny. I was much younger, but still.
Anyway, so that like bugged me right off the bat. We get to so Rey training with Luke. A lot of it was just boring.
It was.
Like, first of all, another piece of horrible humor that didn't fit at all. I was waiting 2 years to find out what Luke says when she hands him that lightsaber, and then he throws it over his shoulder like that was like supposed to be some slapstick comedy.
Right.
It was I was sitting there with my arms crossed, like, no, no, I don't accept this.
Yep.
You threw away what could have been such an incredible moment that everyone has been waiting for. What is he gonna say?
I agree.
And then the rest of
They literally threw it away.
They literally threw it away, and they turned Luke, who is one of the most optimistic people in the galaxy.
Right.
He starts off as this young kid. He was just full of optimism.
Yeah.
And he was convinced that he could turn his father, Darth Vader, to the light side, and that was what ended up saving the day because he never gave up.
Yep.
And in this movie, we start with him like, I give up. I'm not a Jedi anymore.
But I'm okay with that because of everything that he's been through. Like, I'm okay with it. This is almost that old, cynical, jaded, get yourself a new hero kid thing.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that to an extent because then he kind of comes back. It's in a very cliche form where then he's like, tomorrow morning, I'll train you. Rocky, get your left tomorrow. It's like, you know what I mean? So that was what you'd expect. But I was okay with him being, again, somewhat jaded or cynical towards the world in general, or the Force, almost wanting to push the Force away from him, which is everything around you, right? The world, in a sense, the universe.
He disconnected himself from the
did,
Force.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that from what happened, especially once they explained the Kylo Ren thing. Prior to that, it made no sense. It's like, you guys saved the day, you stopped the Empire, right? Go live, be happy. That's fantastic. So he had no reason to really go into hiding after that.
Yeah.
Until you hear about the Kylo thing, then it kind of makes sense. And then you get, Luke's original side, then Kylo's side, then Luke's, amendment side or whatever. So it's fine. And then that makes a little more sense too. But so I'm okay with him being the character that he was. I agree that it was boring watching them train. There were a couple sort of funny parts here and there. Even it was kind of funny with the Force thing on Rey. Like, that was kind of funny.
When he smacks her hand with
right.
the
And there was
twig.
another funny line Luke had where Rey said something, then it's like he says no, and then she says something again, then he's like, oh yeah, that's fine, or that's what I can't remember.
I think it was when he asked where she's from, and she says
nowhere, and then she says Jakku, and he's like, oh, that is pretty much nowhere.
Yeah, there was some good, like,
so that's
those,
kind of funny.
I didn't mind those lines. When R2 showed him the hologram of Leia, that was a really nice scene. I really like that.
Yeah.
And that was what made him go back, and he's like, okay, tomorrow, like, yeah.
Yeah. But again, I just want to touch on this quickly. Again, we don't want to take too much of the time, but wow, this has gone by fast. It's where I'm sure we talked about this before as well as many other people, but it's pretty much a retelling of the original Star Wars in a lot of ways. We're now just like when that one ended, okay, Luke is now Ben, Rey is now Luke, that's where it is. Ren is Vader in a sense, and Luke, Rey is trying to turn Vader, Ren, or whatever, back because they feel there's hope for him. Yeah. And this is already where Snopes was the Emperor, and then Ren kills him the same way Vader killed the Emperor at the time. And so all of this is so reminiscent of that. It's just this is only sort of an Act 2,
This
basically.
is the Act 2, yeah, and they did kind of like...
I was surprised they killed Snopes, too.
Well,
I think he's a douchebag character.
I thought
he was just awful. He reminds me of... Anyway, go look up Hector Hammond, okay, from Green Lantern, and that's who he reminds me of. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but...
I just think he's a horrible villain. He's just some CGI guy who looks ugly, massive head, skinny body.
But it's the most incredible CGI I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's incredible.
I've seen way better.
No.
Have you seen that POV porn stuff they have now?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get into how you spend your nights, but
right.
But okay, first of all, I think I like what you were saying there, but I think Luke is more of like a Yoda in this though, where it's kind of like Luke on Dagobah training with Yoda, and he leaves.
Oh
before
yeah,
he's
sure.
ready.
Okay, no, fine.
But
yeah.
okay, but getting into Yoda though.
But I meant like before when they almost were trying to find Ben, or they came across him. Like, he was your old wise Jedi of whom there are very few, if any, left. Yeah. And that's sort of what Luke is here, almost like the last Jedi, basically, which he is. Rey is becoming one.
Yeah.
So that's why. But I totally see the Dagobah thing. Yeah, going there to find him. That's a better, parallel for sure.
And she left just like Luke did before she was supposed to. But
this
anyway,
is what, like, the final Star Wars, but in Act 2 in this one, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
almost.
The ending of this was like an Act 3.
Yeah.
No one knows what they're going to do after this.
I don't know what they can do. It's like they screwed it up where they accidentally did Act 2 and 3 together, and then were like, Well, what do we do now? Because I thought, like, well, I didn't even know where they were going to go from when Ren killed Snopes or whatever.
Exactly.
I liked how he did it for sure. It's also where you feel that Snopes may have been able to pick up on something from Ren. All the stuff he talks about, what he can feel. I know he's conflicted, or now I know he's, with me, he's on my side. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, he's turning the lightsaber towards you to turn it on and stab you in the chest. It's sitting right beside you.
When they were doing that, I honestly, like, they were making it so obvious.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, oh my god, he's actually going to kill Rey.
Yeah.
I was like, is this like a reverse bait and switch where they're showing you that, and then at the last second he's gonna kill Rey?
Right.
Because like they said, going into this movie that things are gonna happen that are gonna like blow your right. Like kind of like no one is safe kind of thing. So I was like, holy shit, they're actually gonna kill Rey.
I knew
but then they actually
wouldn't,
just did that.
Yeah, which was still surprising. If anything, though, I think there was not enough hinting or a bit of foreshadowing, like, seconds before foreshadowing, but I thought it was a little too on the nose when you see Ren's hand on the left side, like almost trigger finger on it. I thought if they didn't show that, if they went from Ren and holding his lightsaber to then Rey and then to the saber moving, so you think it's Rey doing it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like as if she's going to pull it towards her Obi-Wan Kenobi style against Darth Maul. It would just go Ren, Rey, lightsaber, like Rey's going to pull it towards her, block it or something like that.
Yeah.
Look a little more interesting. But then if the last shot you go to like Ren's hand and see him do that little sort of flip with it or turn, and then the lightsaber boom on or whatever, I think that would have been better. But still, they killed Snopes. I'm fine with it. He was a no one to me in the first movie. You just see him as a hologram pretty much. Didn't care about him. Some CGI guy I hardly ever saw. He looks like a douchebag. I don't know what else to say. Ren is your villain who's still this freaking adolescent. So I'm still torn. Sometimes he's okay. Other times I just can't take him seriously. But I do like him a lot of time. But he's just his emotions. Again, he's your angsty teenager. Yeah. This guy is 18 years old. And he's rebelling against his parents in the world.
He looks like he's a part of My Chemical Romance or something. Maybe he's in Ghost of Snowman.
No, he's not. He did a side project with the singer from Ghost of a Snowman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But
no, Kylo is still too childish to me in a lot of ways for me to take him seriously as a villain. At times I like him. He's just honest and seems sincere, and he shows human characteristics like real, flaws, real weaknesses, and it's great. I like it. Yeah. But again, other times I don't care for his temper tantrums. I can't even say it properly. Temper tantrums, because I just can't take him seriously when I just see him being a child. It's like you want to be Darth Vader, but I don't think he ever took his ball and went home and cried for a bit because he was upset at how something went. He's too emotional for a Sith Lord, I think, but maybe that's what they're going for.
Well, I think that's definitely what they're going for, but yeah. Okay, we'll go through the rest of these kind of quickly. Yoda scene, did you like it or no? To me, that was the best scene in the movie.
I watched a bit of it. I'll be honest, I fast-forwarded some of it because I fast-forwarded parts of the movie that I got bored with. They were too slow. So I go ahead slow.
You were bored with the Yoda scene?
Well, I watched a bit, and then I fast-forwarded, and then I was like, I paused it. I was like, oh, he did light the tree on fire somehow. I was like, okay, let's keep going. And then I saw them talking a bit more, listened to it. I was like, this is okay. It's like, let's try to pick this up and move forward, though. So then I just fast-forward a bit. And I mean, not 10 minutes at a time. I mean, 15 to 30 seconds at a time, just to speed up the movie a bit when it was slowing me down.
You're crazy.
So anyway, sure, that scene was fine, I guess.
It was great.
Yeah, it was super.
It was, yeah. Okay. The whole Finn and Rose arc, that should have been cut out of the movie entirely. That was a half hour of the movie that was completely useless, because in the end, and that character, the Benicio del Toro character, the one with the stutter,
I like him in there.
You liked it?
I like him in there.
Wasn't that the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen, that stutter?
It was just, though I first heard him doing it and thought this is his own thing. He's putting this, whatever, I don't know, these nuances in his character or something like that. Fine, whatever. I just rolled with it. It was fine. I
couldn't believe it. That was one of the things in the movie that I was like,
could believe it, and I did.
Oh my god. It was a joke. That was a total joke.
Okay, but anyway, but again, far-fetched stuff happening, coincidental, Deus Ex Machina, we happen to get a thief, and he happens to help us, and he happens to sell us out, and he happens to, it's just...
Yeah.
And then we happen to survive everything yet again.
Yeah.
They survived, 2 or 3 things they shouldn't have.
Well...
Especially when she saved him. I thought you would both be effed up from that. The way you crashed into him to get him out of the way, it's just,
Oh, at the end there?
Yeah.
Well, okay, we'll get into that in a second, but... the whole part where they're on that planet with the casino.
Yeah, that was a
that
waste.
was worse than anything in the prequels.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
I don't think anyone can deny that. It
No.
was like riding on those. I think they're called fathiers or something.
Yeah.
Those were the ugliest creatures I've ever seen in my life.
I've seen them, I think, on some Magic cards, but I
They're,
think they were awful. But
They're-
it's just that. No, I agree. That I fast forwarded some of that because I was trying to.
it went
watch some of
on
it.
forever, and it was
Totally
boring. And then when they end up on Snoke's ship, and Phasma's there,
Yeah.
and Phasma again, they don't know what to do with Phasma. Like
If
like
she's not dead now after that, like how strong is her metal suit? Can it like block a blaster that hits it for 0.1 seconds? But can it survive?
She fell into
internal
fire.
flames of a ship. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I'm hoping she's dead. They haven't done anything with her. They just kill her off. It's a lot better. It's fine.
It was amazing that they promised after the first movie, we're gonna give her,
Yeah.
we're gonna,
She did nothing. She got hit in the
did
face with
nothing
an electrical
again.
beam, and then that's it.
it was unbelievable.
Although
But
Rose, I like her sister. She was cute. I wish she didn't die. That was a bummer. But she
and that
went
was
down
a
like
cool
a
scene
hero.
in the beginning.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was really cool.
But yes, okay. So sorry. Next one going on. You're
But
saying?
then, but their whole arc there was all for nothing. It was completely.
Yeah.
In the end, they basically just screwed the other people over who were escaping
Kind of.
because
Yeah.
the guy told them what was going on.
Yeah.
But that was just.
How did they? Why did they tell him so much? I don't think they ever told him. Did I
Why-
miss that part? Maybe I fast forwarded
must
like those
have-
10 seconds. But how did he know that much?
I think they just kind of let him in on the whole plan.
Like off camera?
No, I think like while they were telling him, because he knew why they were there, why they were sneaking in to
Sure.
shut down the. Okay, and that's another thing. So the majority of this movie is a very slow chase through space.
Yeah.
Where these like first order ships are chasing that one rebel ship.
Yeah.
And they're just slowly kind of firing on the shields. Like that was like the majority of the movie.
It is, and having a very, full screen sort of wide angle shot of ships chasing each other in space
Yeah.
from a distance is really fucking slow.
I couldn't believe it.
Like
I
you're not,
honestly,
it's not a GoPro on the helm of your X-wing watching it go through an asteroid,
Yeah.
belt. Even though, well, that wouldn't be that great. Asteroids are pretty far apart in asteroid belt, in case anyone's wondering. So you've got plenty of room to move around. But yeah, it's
good to know.
It's just, you know what I mean. It's like watching a herd of freaking wildebeest run,
Yeah.
right, with GoPros on their back. It would look intense. It would look crazy. And then watch it from, the satellite above Earth. You'd be like, what am I looking at? I see this little dust cloud moving here, and that's kind of it.
This was like watching like a cougar like chasing a deer, but they're both like they've been chasing each other all day, so they're like exhausted. This is like at the end of the day, and they're just kind of walking at this point. Like this is what this was like.
This is the worst analogy I've ever heard in my life.
No, it's not. That's like I think that's pretty accurate.
No, it
like,
is.
It's like
Yeah, it is. That's what they did with it. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
that's the decision they made.
And why didn't
I
she
don't
just
get
tell?
it, but-
He was like begging her, Poe. He was like begging her, just tell me the plan. I just want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
And she refused to tell him.
I don't
so
know.
So that whole other like Finn and Rose going and doing that whole stupid thing could have all been avoided if she just told him the plan.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, we're gonna just go. We're just gonna lead them on this slow chase until we get close enough to this planet. Great.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go in the escape pods and go there.
Yeah, which is
Like,
fine.
that's it.
too.
That's all she had to say.
Yeah, but I also thought once Poe and Finn were going to do that thing, I was like, why don't you bring everyone in on this? This is a great idea. Have everyone know what's going on.
Exactly.
Not doing it in secret, then running around and kind of explaining it after. Sorry, after what we had to like lock you up or hold you at gunpoint for a bit. Like I forget if it was after, but yeah, I just didn't see the logic in it. But again, I don't know if that's the writing or if it's Disney putting this in there. They want their own spin on it, so they try to make a little more, again, family-friendly, coincidental, or cliche, and how everything just happens to work out. Everyone's there, right time, right place, consistently.
Yeah.
And I get tired of that after a while.
That was like the worst subplot I've ever seen especially in a Star Wars movie. Was
that
them
was
going
really
to
bad.
that planet. It didn't accomplish anything.
You got to learn a little bit
boring.
about Rose and her sister and where they grew up, I guess.
Yeah,
but that's
like,
it. But again, you don't know Rose well at all, so you don't.
You don't
not
care.
that you don't care. Well, I was
I
gonna
mean,
say
I
like,
don't
not
think
fully,
you do
but
care.
no, you don't, because you don't know her that well, and you think she
Yeah.
might just be sort of a stand-in, not a stand-in, but just a well, obviously a secondary character, but one who's
Yeah.
just around for this film, maybe. She might be around in the next one. Who
I
knows
think
what
she probably
happened,
will.
but I thought she died, which would have made it much more interesting
If
than
she had
Finn
died
bringing
when
her back
she
and just
saved
like
him.
looking over her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Which, like, that scene made me laugh out loud because the cannon is getting ready to fire, and she hits him, gets him out of the way, and then he's like getting her out of the ship, and he's like, "Why'd you do that?" And she's like, "Oh, like, you know, her whatever, saving the people you love instead of."
right.
And as soon as she finishes saying that, the cannon like fires and destroys the
Yeah.
wall, and it's like now all your friends are gonna die. Like it was like that made me laugh out loud. How
Well, I thought
ridiculous it
Finn would have
was.
also like taken a peek behind his shoulder and thought like, "F."
Yeah,
Like, you hit me right at the line, like the
Yeah.
front line
Yeah.
of their pretty much mini army.
Yeah, and why didn't they didn't send 2 stormtroopers down to just get those
Yeah,
2?
how did they get back?
Like yeah.
Did I miss that?
No, you didn't. They just like appeared back in
Again,
there.
that's
Yeah.
their whole like Deus Ex Machina
Yeah.
thing. They just write it in. They
He
wrote
just
themselves
like
into a
carried her
standstill.
like a mile back to that thing
Yeah.
in like 5 minutes. But yeah, so that there's just so many just bad choices. Killing Snoke in this one was a bad choice to me.
Snoke.
Yeah, you've been saying Snoke.
I have
this
been saying
whole time.
Snoke.
And I was just like, I'm just gonna let him say Snoke.
That's no, you know what? I have been saying that. I was wondering because I thought I heard that, and then I kept probably thinking about the website, and then just thought, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, but for me that was like, and okay, so that's 2 of the things that this movie. That's why people are so angry. People after the Force Awakens, we want to know who Snoke is. We want to know who Rey's parents are. And this movie was basically like, neither of those things matter. We're just
Right.
gonna kill Snoke. He's no one. And we're gonna say that Rey's parents were just like junk dealers or whatever.
Didn't we? Yeah, but didn't we see them in the first movie?
All we saw was like the ship like leaving, and she was like, like.
Yeah, what am I thinking of? Who was the? Oh, Mads McKinnon. He was in the first one for that first bit. But who are those farmers again? That wasn't related.
Oh
to
no,
Rey,
no,
was
you're
it?
thinking of Road One, where. Mads
Oh,
Mikkelsen-
that's
yeah, yeah.
why. Never mind. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Carry on. Okay.
But yeah. So there's just so many. For me, there's just so many bad choices.
Okay, but
made
does
in
that
this movie.
matter that much to people, or does like who her parents are?
Because
were they
people-
junk traders? Great. Moving on.
Because
Your daughter's
people-
of like the strongest Jedi right now in the freaking galaxy, apparently. So
I know, but why?
Super.
Like that's why people were so like. There have been like for the last 2 years, people have been like, is she Obi-Wan's granddaughter? Is she actually Han and Leia's daughter as well?
They
And
didn't have
like,
another kid,
Well,
though.
that's what like people were like. Oh, like maybe they just separated them at birth or something. Her and Kylo, or is she the reincarnation of Anakin? Like there were a whole bunch of theories about that. And so, like, and the movie is
has there been any talk of reincarnation? Sorry, before in Star Wars?
No, but
I haven't
like
heard of that.
because Anakin was the chosen whatever. Like he was
Sure.
basically like how it was like an immaculate birth, right? Like he
Yeah.
didn't have a father. Like
Not a lot of people know what immaculate means when it comes to that, but
well, you know what it means. Though.
Sure.
Yeah. Like he was basically born of the Force,
Right.
So like people were saying like, oh, like she's like the next, like she's kind of like the reincarnation.
sure.
So that was one theory. Obi-Wan's granddaughter, which I would have been fine with that one too, like because she kind of has
Right.
the British accent also. And,
Yeah, but say who? Okay, Anakin Skywalker
yeah.
was born from who?
Shmi, like in the first
Who?
in the Phantom Menace.
From
Shmi.
you?
Shmi.
From you?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Is this like a who's on first bit?
This is Abbott and Costello right
here. No, Shmi. Yeah, you. No, Shmi.
Shmi, yeah,
We could go
Shmi.
on. We could just do this for half an hour. Yeah.
No, not you. Her.
Shmi.
Okay, so her, right?
Yeah, her.
Okay. So no one,
Yeah.
and no one cared. She was a nice lady. We liked her for that, but that was it. So with Reyes, I don't care that much personally. It's like the same thing.
But it was just,
Random parents giving birth to it, probably.
It was
Who
like
knows?
a slap in the face, though.
If
to all
people
the
were
people that
expecting
were
it
like,
and they
yeah.
didn't want to do it, sure. I get
And
it.
that's basically, I guess we'll just get into this now. Why people are so, why it's so divided. If you look at the Rotten Tomatoes fan scores for all the Star Wars movies, this one is the lowest. It's lower than Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's how much people hate this movie. It's currently sitting at 47% for the fan scores. Phantom Menace is 59, Attack of the Clones is 57, Revenge of the Sith 65.
That's
The
pretty
three
low.
the three original ones are all in the 90s, of course. Force Awakens and Rogue One are 88 and 87. And then I want to quickly get into a little bit with Solo. Solo is at 64. And so what do you think, like, so Force Awakens comes out, people really love it. Rogue One comes out, it's like, it's
I think
really
also
good.
for nostalgia's sake, they loved it. That is just
Oh yeah,
back.
it was
But
just
yeah,
such a, it was,
Sure.
it was 10 years
And it was done
since,
well, though. It was fine,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a great movie.
So was Rogue One, yeah.
Rogue One's really good. And now there's been 2 basically bombs. It looks like Solo is going to lose money, which is insane.
Yeah, I think it's getting close to what it potentially costs at $250 million. If there's more than that, like you were saying with marketing,
But like the other 3,
or
even
reshooting, and then
Force Awakens is $2 billion. Rogue One is over $1 billion, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then Last Jedi was $1.3 billion. This one is not. This one, they're like, it looks like it's maybe going to hit like $600 million or something.
that makes sense.
Like, not really
that.
for a
No, I mean,
Star
if
Wars
that.
movie. Like, it's going to be the lowest ever.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me though, because they're like, let's do a spin-off for Han Solo.
Yeah, no one asked for that movie at all.
Exactly. That happens a lot in
And-
Hollywood.
So
They don't want new ideas. They just want to, recycle stuff, and that's what they're doing here. And I will make the point that in my mind, because Star Wars is now owned by Disney,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do this with other characters. Apparently, it's supposed to be like Darth Maul one they were saying, and then like an Obi-Wan one or something, or everything. It's just, I almost feel like this is in part because it's Disney, not just Star Wars and Lucasfilms and everything wanting more money, just wanting to keep milking it pretty much. But I feel that like it is Disney. When you look at all the different Disney movies with all the different princes and princesses and characters, just all their lines, it's like they're almost doing the same here. Like, let's give everyone a story. Let's find every old tale we can find
Yeah.
and just rework it for a much brighter, more colorful children's version of it, where they take, old stories and old tales and everything. It seems like they're doing the same thing here. Let's just give everyone their own little one-off story for whatever reason. Which seems useless to me, waste of time and money, but they feel they're going to make something off it, so that's why they keep pumping these things out.
Well, they're going to keep doing one a year, and I don't know. I think, like, there's the saying, like, too much of a good thing. It's for a reason, because, like, I think we're already, like, it's, like, basically 2 good ones, 2, like, 1 to me, bad one, and 1 not so great one. I'm worried. I think in a few years, we're going to look back and be like, oh, like, we're really going to regret what Disney's about to do.
Yeah, but I think the next Star Wars is going to be good. I think they're going to pull their socks up.
Well, it's
and I think
J.J.
they're gonna-
Abrams.
I know, but
nine.
I still be maybe hit and miss with some of what he's doing. But I
Well, he
think
did
more
Force
hits.
Awakens, which was...
I think more hits than misses for
Yeah.
sure. But we'll see. I'm just saying. I think this was almost that weird intermission filler in a trilogy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That doesn't happen all the time, but where it's just you have your first movie that introduces everything and everyone, and you like it because it gets you into it. Then your second one sort of peters off a bit while it's taking some time to explain things it didn't get to do in the first one because there was no time.
Yeah.
So it's not always everything or something really exciting. They're just putting in this filler that they couldn't put in the first one, and they're working it into a film to fill that gap right now. Then it leads up to what the big thing is the conclusion, your climax. And that's one of the things when it comes to writing in general. You have an idea and how it starts and how it ends, and then it's like, okay, what happens in between all that? Because we can explain everything and get people into it. We're going to have this badass ending. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
But what do we put in the middle to keep this thing going? So I think that's what happened here, which happens in trilogies. So I think the third one's going to be good. I have high hopes for it.
It is kind of exciting that we have no idea where they're going. Like, I honestly have no idea what's going to happen.
I don't know.
Because they basically, like, killing, like, the Emperor figure is always the thing that happens in Act 3.
Yeah.
So, like, what is going to happen?
Again, especially for this being like a retelling of the original Star Wars, pretty much, you would expect that. Like Ren going after Snopes at the end, right? And the third
I love that you say Snopes.
Again, I
almost wish I
wasn't
didn't.
tuning in and out last night, but I was trying to listen, but I thought I heard Snopes.
I can't believe you. But
Hey, I've done pretty good. Okay, I paid attention. You can tell.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, and
But,
those stupid little things were kind of cute.
I like them. I didn't mind them.
Chewie was in there for a bit, which was sort of a bummer that he had such a small part.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those little things were kind of cute.
porgs.
They're pure CGI. What are they? I don't know what they're called.
Porgs.
Porgs. Okay, that makes sense. I guess they're like guinea pigs, pretty much, just
They
with bigger
are.
eyes.
Yeah,
they're guinea pigs
yeah,
with bigger
yeah.
eyes, or they're guinea penguins. Sorry,
Guinea
with bigger
penguins.
bigger
Yeah.
eyes. I heard in a quick review. I want to say this that they said we went from like Ewoks to even cuter. These things. Bullshit. Okay, Ewoks are the cutest thing alive. See pictures of them, you watch videos of them, you hear their voice. I would kill someone to have an Ewok if I could.
Ewoks are the worst part of the original trilogy.
What the fuck did you just say?
I hope that picked up Roman's laugh in the background there.
Yeah.
But and we'll get into that eventually. But anyway, we should definitely wrap this up now.
Oh my god, we're 40 minutes.
Yeah, but this is good. This is kind of what I was expecting. It was gonna.
Yeah,
be
this is just a long movie review with pretty much two people giving their own 20-minute review of a movie. So
Yeah.
we hope you enjoy it at least.
The two there's two scenes that make this movie watchable. The Yoda scene and the scene where Kylo and Rey are fighting the Praetorian guards at the end in the red armor. Mm-hmm. What did you think of that? Did you think that was
I thought it was great for the people who haven't seen it yet, and you just spoiled it for them. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, sorry, Nicole. But you've seen this before. Yeah, but did you think that was a good... Because here's the other thing. This movie doesn't have a lightsaber battle.
Yeah,
Because,
I know.
like...
Well, yeah.
Which,
right.
like, that was another thing that just pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't get to see Luke actually have a lightsaber battle with anyone.
I agree. But
was
again,
a
that I think is
huge-
going to be the build-up for it. And I hope it's not something where they just have... I actually thought this was... I didn't know he was a ghost form or hologram at the time. I didn't know Luke was the ghost of a snowman at that
Yeah.
part. So when Ren swiped him, I thought, here we go. Here's Obi-Wan taking one for the team. Pass it on to Luke pretty much.
Right.
I thought Luke was going to do this to Rey, but then
Right.
obviously took a different turn.
Yeah.
I thought their fight was fine, to be perfectly honest, even though he's got Rey on his side and she's much less experienced, like far less in terms of the Force and even lightsaber fighting. What did she do 30 seconds outside by
I know.
herself against a rock?
Swinging it.
That was her
she sliced a
lightsaber
rock.
training.
That was her big, yeah.
But I thought that was fine. I just personally thought, or didn't really get how Kylo didn't F those guys up altogether. I know they're sort of the Emperor's almost like Imperial Guards, right? Those really high-ranking ones.
Yeah.
Who know how to fight. They almost have like their anti-lightsaber weapons pretty much.
Yeah.
I just thought Ren could have force choked them a lot, one by one, or even just force push them, force lightning, force something.
Yeah.
I didn't think he'd go so close quarters, almost hand-to-hand combat with it.
Well, he kind of sucks. Like, I mean, we see at the end of The Force Awakens where, like, Rey, is able to beat him.
Yeah.
And she's never, like, and Snoke made the comment in this one, like, she had never even held a lightsaber before.
Exactly.
Like, it's kind of, I don't know,
But, I mean, I think, again, with his character, he's that angsty teen who's just mad at the world, and he doesn't know exactly what he wants to say, how he wants to say it, or how he wants to do something or express himself, where you don't see him doing any training, anything. You don't really see him doing much. They show him with his shirt off to be like, oh, he works out, right?
Yeah.
But maybe that was so cheesy too. But maybe they did. But it's just he doesn't look like he trains on much aside from I can force choke, I can swing my lightsaber in rage, and I do. That's why his lightsaber battles just look much more amateur.
Yeah.
He just swings hard and heavy like he's mad the whole time.
Yeah.
You're not getting any Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan, which is arguably the greatest lightsaber battle they've ever had.
Yeah, I agree.
When Obi-Wan does the block in the front, then the block in the back, when Maul's spinning around and it's double-sided.
Oh, it's
one of
so
the coolest
cool.
things I've ever
Oh my
seen.
God. But, okay, we better wrap this up.
Sure.
For conclusion, for me, like, Last Jedi is a disappointing movie. It's not bad. Like, I think I give it a 5 out of 10. Whereas, like, most of the other ones, I would give, like, 9s, even 10s, 8s, 9s, 10s. But anyway, and you're around the same. You're about a 6.5.
I might drop it to a 6 overall from just the discussion we've had there. Either you shed some light on some things, or I shed more light on things that I thought already or was confused about. But, so I'd maybe give it a 6 out of 10. I wasn't terribly disappointed. I wasn't really happy either or surprised. It was just sort of that was all right, I guess. We'll just wait for the next one. And I think they're going to do something good for the next one.
I
feel
hope so. I'm confident in JJ. He, like, as much as they're trying to kind of play nice, like, he wasn't happy with what happened in 8.
Right.
Like, you know, that wasn't where he wanted the story to be going. And he wasn't even originally going to be directing 9. The guy that directed Jurassic Park World, Colin Trevorrow, was going to direct it. And then they replace it with him because
I'm fine with
because I think they know that, like, oh shit, we got to get this back on track.
Yeah.
People are so upset.
Well, the big thing is just going to be who's writing it. Like, what is the story that's going to be told?
Yeah.
Filming it will play a big part, but it's just what story are you telling to begin with? So we'll see what happens.
A lot of pressure on them again.
For sure.
As much pressure. Yeah, like he had all the pressure of the world on his shoulders when 7 was coming out.
Yeah.
Because it was like Star Wars is returning after 10 years.
Yeah.
People didn't like the prequels, so it's like, what's going to happen? And now he's kind of got that same pressure again. But so I don't envy the guy. But we're at 46 minutes now, so we better wrap this up.
That's disgusting.
All right. Thanks for talking about Thanks for finally watching it. I didn't think it was ever going to happen.
Yeah, you got it.
But all right. So that was our thoughts on The Last Jedi. We're probably going to do, if you like this one, let us know in the comments if, you know, we want to do, we're planning on doing more movie stuff anyway, but let us know if there's anything in particular.
Yeah. Or if you don't want us to do anything, just also comment on that and tell us not to do any more videos ever.
Unsubscribe. Yep. Send us some death threats.
Dislike the video. Don't share it with your friends and family.
Yeah. We really just appreciate anything.
Mm-hmm. Any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly.
May the Force be with you.
May the Force be with you. That's the perfect ending. All right. See you guys.